for a track meet here tonight. The Aces play second fastest, Indiana third fastest, and Lexi Hull, the league's top 3 Clark got around Stokes, gets to the rim, lays it in, and a foul.
Indiana needs to play with. Kia Stokes late on the help, left, but going right. She has such a great change of pace, and she's learned to play through the contact.
Imagine this. Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation, goes 1 for 10 from three-point range. That's not a typo. The Aces' defense was so intense, they turned Clark's sharp shooting into a nightmare. Want to know how they pulled it off? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. Picture the arena. Fans are on the edge of their seats, eyes glued to Clark. But something's off. Their star rookie isn't lighting it up like usual. The crowd's energy shifts from excitement to confusion. You can feel the tension building with every missed shot. Clark struggling, and it's not just a bad day. The Aces are doing something different. They're all over her, making every move a challenge. But how did they shut down one of the most exciting players in the league? Let's break down their game-changing strategy and see what made Clark's night so tough. Behind every great defense is a mastermind. In this case, it's Becky Hammon, and she came to play chess while everyone else was playing checkers. You think you know how to stop a star? Hammon's about to school us all. Let's talk about Becky Hammon, the Aces coach who's quickly becoming a legend in the WNBA. She's not just any coach, she's a strategic genius who can break down a game like nobody's business. And when it came to stopping Caitlin Clark, Hammon pulled out all the stops. So what was Hammon's secret weapon? Aggression. Pure, unadulterated aggression. The Aces' defense was like a swarm of bees, constantly buzzing around Clark, never giving her a moment's peace. They were all over her, maintaining constant contact, pushing her off her rhythm. It was like watching a boxing match where one fighter never lets the other get set. But here's where it gets wild. The refs were letting it all slide. The physicality in this game was off the charts, and the whistles stayed silent. For Clark, it must have felt like playing in a whole different league. Every move, every dribble, every attempt to get open was met with a body check or a hand check, and the frustration, you could see it building with every possession. Hammon's game plan wasn't just about being physical though. It was smart, really smart. The Aces forced Clark into drives, cutting off her passing lanes. They turned one of the best facilitators in the game into a score-first player. It's like they rewrote her DNA on the court. Picture this, Clark, known for her crisp passes and court vision, suddenly looking like she's trapped in a maze with no exit. The Aces defenders were everywhere, arms outstretched, bodies shifting, always one step ahead. They weren't just reacting to Clark, they were dictating her every move. And the results? They speak for themselves. Clark's usual pick and roll plays shut down. Her ability to control the tempo, gone. The Aces had her playing their game at their pace, and it was a pace Clark couldn't keep up with. In a post-game interview, Hammon dropped some knowledge about her strategy. She talked about the importance of communication and setting the defensive tone early. It wasn't just about physical play. It was about getting inside Clark's head from the first whistle. You know what's crazy? Some people are calling this one of the best defensive performances they've seen in the league, and they might be right. Hammon didn't just come up with a plan to slow Clark down, she found a way to practically erase her from the game. While Hammon's defense shined, Clark's star dimmed. The player who once ruled college courts now looks like she's playing a different sport. What happened to the Caitlin Clark we thought we knew? And let's talk about Clark's shot selection for a minute. In this game, she took 12 two-point attempts. That's way more than usual for her. It's like watching LeBron suddenly decide to become a three-point specialist. Something's off, right? Here's the thing, Clark's been settling for mid-range shots lately instead of charging to the basket. It's a big change from her usual aggressive style. Imagine Michael Jordan suddenly afraid to dunk. That's how weird this looks for Clark fans. And those turnovers, ook. Clark cuffed up the ball 6 times against the Aces. That's not the Clark we're used to seeing. It's like watching a master chef suddenly forget how to use a knife. The Aces' pressure clearly got to her, messing with her decision making big time. Remember when Clark was unstoppable in college? She was dropping buckets left and right, making it look easy. Now in the WNBA, her shooting percentage has taken a nosedive. It's like watching a Ferrari trying to race on a dirt road. The contrast is shocking. You know what's wild? This game exposed just how tough it is for rookies to transition to the pro level, even for a star like Clark. It's like going from high school math to college calculus overnight. The game's faster, the players are stronger, and the pressure's through the roof. Becky Hammon, the Aces coach, actually had something interesting to say about this. She pointed out, she's a 22-year-old woman with a lot of pressure. She's not perfect, she's a rookie in this league. Back off. It's a good reminder that even the brightest stars need time to adjust. Fans are starting to notice too. They're seeing Clark struggle with off-ball movement and creating her own shots. In college, she was the puppeteer, controlling the game. Now, it's like she's trying to pull the strings with someone else holding the puppet. But here's the million-dollar question, can Clark adapt? This game was tough, no doubt, but it's just one game in a long season. The real test is how she responds. Will she learn from this defensive masterclass and come back stronger? Or will the Aces' strategy become the blueprint for shutting down the rookie phenom? Clark's tough night had fans divided, but the Aces locker room was singing a different tune. Why would the team that just crushed her dreams rush to her defense? You'd think the Aces would be trash-talking Clark after shutting her down, right? Well, think again. Becky Hammon, the mastermind behind the defense that gave Clark nightmares, had some surprising words after the game. She straight up said, "We love Caitlin Clark. Knock it off. It's not there." Wait, what? The coach who just demolished Clark is now defending her, but it doesn't stop there. Aja Wilson, the Aces star player, backed up her coach. She pointed out, y'all keep asking us these questions like she's this grown woman who's been in this league for years. It's like they're reminding everyone that Clark's still a rookie, still figuring things out. Here's something wild. The Aces are actually moving their game against the Fever to a bigger arena. Why? Because they know Clark's gonna bring in the crowds. They're literally changing venues just for her debut. That's how much of a draw she is, even after a tough game. Fans are going crazy over this. Some are criticizing Clark, saying she's not living up to the hype. Others are jumping to her defense, saying she just needs time to adjust. It's like watching a tennis match, with opinions flying back and forth. But here's the thing, this isn't just about Clark, it's about how sports rivalries can actually bring out the best in people. Hammon and Wilson aren't just defending Clark, they're showing what real sportsmanship looks like. They're competing hard on the court, but still giving props where it's due. LeBron James even jumped into the mix. He said, "Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things are gonna happen for the WNBA." That's huge coming from one of the biggest names in basketball. You know what's crazy? This intense matchup where Clark struggled so much actually shows how much respect there is in the WNBA. The Aces didn't gloat or put Clark down. Instead, they recognized her talent and potential even while doing everything to stop her on the court. Hammond summed it up perfectly. "I think she's amazing, and we're just doing our job. Whoever's on the other team is on the other team." It's like they're saying, yeah, we shut her down, but we still think she's awesome. That's the kind of rivalry that makes sports great. Alright, let's wrap this up. Becky Hammon and the Aces just gave Caitlin Clark a brutal welcome to the WNBA. Their defense was like a wall, and Clark couldn't find a way through. But here's the crazy part. Even after shutting her down, the Aces still showed Clark mad respect. So what's next for the rookie sensation? Clark's averaging 17.8 points and 5.8 assists, but she's also turning the ball over 5.3 times a game. That's rough, but remember, she's still figuring out the pro game. The big question is, can Clark bounce back, or did the Aces just write the playbook on how to stop her? One thing's for sure, the next Aces vs Fever game is going to be insane. They're even moving it to a bigger arena just for Clark. That's how much of a star she already is. You better believe everyone's going to be watching to see if Clark can get her revenge.